Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Hasbro OK's Gambling, what a family brand, Gundam War Game on the way, Tales of the Valiant Starter Set, and Ultraviolet Grasslands 2nd Edition.
Okay.
Kinda. Yeah, they kind of back away from that. They're
1.9?
They're calling it 2E, but they're like, it's not. If you get the first one, you might be okay. All right, so let's start off. Well, I guess we could start off with a little bit of this.
Not the best. You know, whatever game they're actually playing there, I would actually play it. It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good. All right. Well, I think this came out when we were recording last week.
Right.
So I was like, I wish I would have had a little bit more of this. But we just got information about a week ago that Hasbro with Wizards of the Coast has signed a deal for Dungeons and Dragons slot machines. So
actual physical slot.
No, this is all virtual
right.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's online and it sounds terrible. So there is a multi-game collaboration. This may turn into physical slot machines at some point because they're cooperating, but I have some physical machine news after the gambling part of it. But December 5th, Games Global announced that they've signed the multi-game collaboration with a Dungeons and Dragons license. So yeah, they're just going to license this thing out. Is it a license? I mean, it's amazing. What is this IP?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, and you're going to love this. So the first game they're releasing is Dungeons and Dragons Tale of Riches. Tales of Riches. So that's real classy. Neon Valley Studios is going to give online players in non-US markets, a modern Vegas experience themed around Dungeons and Dragons. So these are story-driven online slots.
I'm sorry, story-driven, like the word immersive, has just lost all meaning.
Yeah.
Also, when I read this, I guess there wasn't that much information, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think Hasbro's responded much. I think the company that bought the license is like, yeah, look at us, and Hasbro's like, you don't have to brag so loudly. But yeah, they're going to so Global Games in their press release said they're going to harness the world's greatest role-playing game to create an immersive, high-engagement slot experience. Oof. So, the players will no longer be under-monetized. They're going to be perfectly monetized. Thing, right? Yeah, they keep gambling. Yeah. So at your 5e table, there'll be somebody doing their slots while they're waiting for their turn in combat, probably. Maybe. It's possible.
I don't know.
Wow. So yeah, it's a chance to tap. So they're happy to have this chance to tap into the global fan base, and they're trying to. Even though this was announced December 5th, so they're trying to squeeze this into part of the 50th anniversary celebration and gambling too. So yeah, these Games Global is a leading supplier of iGaming content.
That like all the thing I saw was like iGaming partner. I'm like, what the heck is iGaming?
So that's from sports betting to virtual slot machines. Yikes! So I guess we can look forward to Tasha's Pot of Gold. Right?
Well, you know what?
Mordekainen's NFL pick.
Painfully brutal. Yes. When it was like Dungeons and Dragons, Tales of Riches, and I'm like, that seems like a normal title. That seems like a normal title to me.
Yeah,
right?
These greedy adventures. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, because Hasbro was no effort and they made plenty of money with the Baldur's Gate 3 license, they figure why not just, hand that out to whoever's interested.
Okay. I don't know video games. Mm-hmm. Who owns Baldur's Gate stuff? Because, kind of like you talked about before, Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Dungeons and Dragons. There is an IP attached to it, but as we have discussed numerous times, what exactly does that IP look like?
Yeah,
like I know, like just from going on like DM's Guild, there are monsters that you can't use, right? And you just file the serial numbers off them, right? iTyrant works just fine. There are like place names, character names, like spell names, but it's all kind of. Is it a? It's been a while since I've been on the show, I thought, right? D&D being a role-playing game with kind of set established settings, but also as a game where you can kind of, it's imagination, do whatever you want, right? Like, they don't, I feel, have like a concrete IP the way something like Alien does, or any other kind of film thing, right? So yes, I wonder what exactly they are kind of licensing apart from the name Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, I think with something like the things that have been done have been settings, and also then PC games. The PC game studios have created characters for them.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and so that would like then probably fall under that license. So they would say, okay, that's ours now because you did it as work for hire. No, but I think Baldur's Gate is all Wizards of the Coast. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think you can do anything because under that, anything you produce, I'm sure they're like, yeah, thank you, that's ours. If it does well, if it
doesn't do well, then say, we had nothing. Then maybe that's it. Like, I bet a Baldur's Gate slot machine would probably do better than Dungeons and Dragons. Right?
Yeah, right.
And us being in the land that nostalgia never forgets, I bet you somewhere there is a pinball or actual pachinko machine of like Dungeons and Dragons from like the late 80s somewhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I bet that's true. Yeah, so Hasbro has got all the IP, so prepare for Transformers, My Little Pony, Peppa Pig, perhaps pull the slots. I mean, it just shows their greed to like such an extent that it's a little depressing. But of course the internet's been going crazy about that, and it's funny because it was the beginning of December, and I think the first time that the press release for Games Global probably came out just last week, so they've been kind of telling them to quiet down a little bit. So Neon Valley Studios, the one that's doing Tales of the Riches, their previous success was Pineapple Pop, so that they do classy, awesome stuff. But speaking of physical machines, pinball and pachinko, this blew me away. At first I was like, okay, yeah, who is this for? But as I read more into it, this gets insane. So another piece of news for a license, Stern Pinball reveals they're doing Dungeons & Dragons pinball tables. Okay. So the first one that they're doing is the Tyrant's Eye. And that is a battle with Tiamat and a multi-access animatronic dragon with dragon mechs and immersive D&D storyline elements.
Sorry, man. It's called the Tyrant's Eye.
Yes.
And it's a battle with Tiamat,
and
as opposed to a beholder.
Yes, right.
Continue.
And they are manufacturing 740 units of this pinball machine globally, and we'll find out why that number is significant. So the thing that got really insane about this description is they're going to incorporate much of the tabletop role-playing game's world and mechanics. And it's like, wait, we're still talking about pinball, right? While retaining the action of an adventure within the confines of a pinball table. So you choose your character class.
Okay.
And then you go off on an adventure, and you play that out on the monitor on the table as you attempt to vanquish foes and find treasure with pinball. But anyhow,
this works how?
So the Tyrant's Eye pinball games, you are a chosen member of the Dragon's Shield Guild, and the goal ultimately is defeat the Dragon Queen Tiamat. So of course Tiamat is hatching plans to trigger the Dragon Wars. So you are fighting along all of these other dragons are fighting for power, so the player will experience the game's fantasy world under the glass. So it gets a little. And there's actually the iconic voice of Michael Dorn will be used to voice the dragons. So here we go. So you have to connect to the Insider Connected platform that I guess Stern has established, which enables players to interact with the game on a global network of players in multiple ways, including ongoing code updates for the software, which will improve the experience. So they have a system called the Pin Save system, including your character experience points, inventory items, and campaign progress. For more traditional experience for other players, you can just start without saved data and just play a pinball game. But so because D&D was created in 1974, that's why they chose 740 of these units to build.
As opposed to 1,974?
Right, yeah, that's right. And I guess that was a little too much. But they're going to do 3 editions of the of the machines. And so there's a Pro, a Premium, and a Limited Edition. The Limited Edition, look out. So this is going to have speaker.
Pro, Premium, and Limited as in... I thought like limited as in functionality.
Yeah, limited functionality. Not very fun. But it'll have the speaker expression lighting system with D&D themed effects, full color inspired mirrored back glasses, full color reflective foil Tiamats, Xanathar, and high definition cabinet details, and hand-drawn artwork by Vincent Prost. So yeah, you're going to have a dragon red powder-coated pinball armor, a custom designed autograph at the bottom arch, upgraded audio. Oh, this is for the kind of the exclusive one, the limited one. So they're just going to be signing the machine everywhere. Limited, the plaque will be numbered, and you'll have a digital inside a connected limited edition owner badge with your registration. So I think we need a new Patreon goal, right? We got to rally the weaklings and get one of these connected.
My face cannot get any more less impressed.
Yeah,
like, who is this for?
They're stretching that. Well, and also, so you're getting treasure, and then one of the features is you can go into a store in the pinball machine and acquire unique items and treasure chests. I don't know if there's an app connected with this.
You know what? Mm-hmm. This might be the next peanut butter and chocolate. Who knows? Like maybe pinball and like role-playing games like work incredibly well together, and we're just not seeing it. I, for one, do not see how you marry these two things into a coherent whole. It'd be like I'm thinking like Game Boy DS, where one side of the screen is completely different from the another one, and you're just like, what's happening here? Or I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just getting old.
But I thought that was amazing. They're pushing pinball to the limit of so when I first saw D&D pinball, that's
just make it a normal pinball machine,
man. Yeah, well, if you don't use your save data, it is a normal pinball machine. Yeah, they don't say anything about points. Maybe your experience is literally your score. But I thought that was pretty elaborate and an interesting use of the license. They're going all in with an online multiplayer experience through a pinball machine.
You know what I think happened for their 50th anniversary? They expected people to be beating down the door with collaborations, which didn't happen.
Yeah,
and now they're scrambling further. Like, hurry up!
Yeah, right. A lot of this is happening pretty late in the year. But I thought that was a funny thing to tag on, because you mentioned physical machines, and when I first read slots, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to see casinos full of with D&D corners. But no, it's all virtual so far, except for the pinball, but there's no gambling element. It's just just gotta get you connected to all the other pinball. So, but there's only at the most in the world, there's only going to be 740 players online doing this.
I think you're overestimating how many people are going to play that.
Yeah, right. Well, and even like simultaneously, that's probably going to be 12. But it's pretty funny that they're linking all that together. All right, so I thought this year probably wouldn't be any new games I'd be getting into, and then Bandai had to go and pull this
tell me
one.
You're not doing this.
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be hard. So Gundam is getting its own war games.
Correction: the title I saw is Gundam gets its own Warhammer 40,000.
Right? Yeah. Well, not quite. So they announced that they're going to do a war game. There hasn't been great. They've got a teaser trailer, and people have been taking photos at different game conventions and stuff. And sometimes there's D6s, sometimes there's D10s. It's like, okay, we don't know exactly what this is.
It's a prototype. All right, whatever. Yep.
So they've showed off a few shots of these things, and maybe a few display cases. So 2-inch miniatures, so about 50 millimeter mechs, and so the anime itself and the storyline itself is usually very critical of war and kind of the mental, like the psychological.
So let's strip that all out and just make a war game.
Right. So what I'm hoping doesn't happen is this just becomes like one of those kind of Fortnite, like let's throw everything in there and mash
I think it's going
up.
to. Okay. My knowledge of Gundam is extremely limited, apart from building a few kits back in the day, right? I understand there are different timelines, but I really think after reading the article, maybe not this one exactly, I think this is just going to be a anything and everything from throughout the entire run of Gundam is, hey, remember that whatever suit you like? We've now made it, right? I think it's just going to be
Yeah, so that would be disappointing, but they're also tying, and the reason I'm worried about it is because they're tying it into a trading card game as well. So
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is Gundam Assemble, and it's going to be either a trading card game or a miniatures game, and you can buy like just the trading card game, or you can buy both the miniatures, and so maybe the cards have the stats that will be used in the war game. So yeah,
Can't complain about that. I mean,
yeah, so it's so later this year we're going to see a Gundam on the table. So it looks like it's hex based though. It doesn't look like you're measuring anything. It looks pretty hex based, and it's not clear. There was some, I don't know if those were just background decorations, but we saw images of sprues. So I don't know if there's going to be sprues for these 15 millimeter or if they're going to be pre-assembled, because they're hips plastic, but they didn't say whether they're going to require assembly. They'll definitely require
no, I saw
painting.
a picture of sprues. I don't know.
Yeah. So and that's not, it's a bit smaller even than their high grade models, and it's funny, maybe they just don't want to do this, confusing blending the hobby with a game, but it seems like that scale for the high grade is pretty good.
1/144?
Yeah, to do for a tabletop game, to give you kind of the scale, because that corresponds with all kinds of railroad scales and stuff for buildings and things.
It does.
So I'm surprised that they're going to do this whole other, they're going to the whole other set of models for this game.
I'm not that surprised because yes, I mean, okay, I've seen people paint some 1/144 scale Gundams similar to miniatures, and they look amazing. You absolutely could play war games with those,
right?
And I've seen people suggesting playable like Mobile Frame Zero, those which would be good. There's any number of games you could play with the Bandai kits. I have to think, okay, maybe different audience, right? I mean, like, people enjoy assembling and building their kits, right? Might be different from people who enjoy playing war games, right? So I guess, to be altruistic, or give them the benefit of the doubt, separate kind of easy push fit miniatures would appeal to people who want to play the game.
Right.
I think they're maybe being a bit greedy, where we're like, whoa, okay, you've got a whole bunch of 1/140 scale Gundam kits. We don't want you to use those. We want you to buy this new stuff.
Yeah. And the fact that they're tying it to a card game, so that it is probably much more for the gaming audience. So that makes me think that they might be pre-assembled. It seems weird. Yeah, it might be hard to get. I mean, especially at that scale, to get people to be putting stuff together that are used to. Especially if they're doing the larger models.
if you've put together what GW's Epic.
Oh, right.
Epic one. People complaining about that. No, I don't think they're 15 millimeter. I think they're closer to, like you said, 50.
50, yeah.
50 millimeter. Yeah, they're about like 2 inches high.
Yeah, 2 inches. Yeah, did I say 15? I meant 50.
And 15 millimeter are not a pain to paint.
Okay.
They're just different.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, they're going to be about 2 inches, which is a very different scale. But I guess it fits on a board, especially if they're going to try to keep it a smaller board.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Star Wars Shatterpoint is 54 millimeter.
Yeah.
So,
and is that a mashup? Do they have scenarios and kind of like eras, or I wonder if that's a mashup?
That's
game?
the extent of my knowledge of the game,
like,
right? They're just larger miniatures. So maybe Bandai looked at that and said, that seems pretty popular. 50, let's make miniatures around the same size.
Yeah. So I wonder, because it definitely is a different hobby audience, and I think there's already been several generations of Gundam trading card games. So I don't know, and
God only knows how many here in Japan.
Yeah. So but I guess for the English market, it's probably much less.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I wonder if any Gundam trading card games have made it to the English
market. I bet not, because Gundam didn't even really make it onto like television or anything in America. It was in Canada. There was a lot more Gundam released. I think it was just like in the VHS days and stuff. It started showing up. So all the classic models they already showed off, as well as some of like the Gundam Ariel from the new Witch from Mercury series. So a lot of newer stuff. So it looks like about 2 to 3 mechs on a side using handfuls of D10s. But they're not really talking, other than hips plastic, they're not really talking about what these kits are gonna look like. They did give us some prices though. In the initial wave, it's going to be kind of classic Gundam, Zaku, the Wing Gundams, and then some of the newer stuff. Both sides. They always slightly change the names of the sides, but both sides of the. So the 11th of July of this year, we're going to see 4 starter sets. So both card game and miniature game. $11.99 for just the card game only. 4 sets for those starter sets, and then the 4 sets for cards and miniatures are $35.99.
Okay. Not bad, because I think Miguel said the difference between this and Warhammer 40K is that you're not spending like 40K per miniature, right?
Yeah.
And some of the chatter I've seen is that like, okay, since they are bigger miniatures and since they are, or you will need only about 2 or 3 or 4 per side, they can charge more for them.
Right. Yeah, so it'd be nice to see if these are nice, detailed, because that's the thing about Gundam is you build a few kits, you're like, where the hell am I going to put the, they get.
That's why I stopped.
They start to take up shelf space like you wouldn't believe. So it's interesting. I was excited to see this, but if it's just going to be a big mashup, because a lot of the video games, like the online multiplayer video games, it's just like any generation, anything. It's just all like Super Robot Wars, basically, with Gundam.
That is my guess of what it will be.
Yeah, so that's a little disappointing. But if they do have like kind of classic battles, like classic matchups of and that's what the starter sets would be, like classic matchups of various mechs, that would be cool to see that. But who knows? Who knows what they're actually going to do? Because the market here, especially Bandai, is aiming at the kiddies, either the older people or trying to get that kiddie market going. That's where their new stuff is.
I would be very curious to know what the market here is like. I mean, after that game day on Sunday, I went to Din Town and bought some more paints and just walking around trying to find Pokemon cards for my kid, who she actually doesn't want to play. She just wants to collect them. I found out afterwards. Like all of the game shops, like there are people from like all ages in there. Right? So I wonder what the demographics like break down here.
Yeah, well, I think they're it looks like they're trying really hard to get a new generation, like a lot of these older IPs, a new generation of people interested in it. It's just not clicking. I think it did its best in the 70s and 80s, and it's not being picked up by because you'll see if people stop and stare at a monitor of the anime, it's always like somebody over 40. That's never kids.
Who's watching it?
Yeah,
right,
who's watching it. It's never kids going, oh wow, look at this. So it's interesting, but it's got such a presence here, and the model kits themselves are such just amazing things, like, and they've only gotten better. Like the technology is just insane for how they articulate the models and stuff, and they're not in the lower grade ones are not too imposing to put together, so even a little kid can
don't get any. They take up too much space.
Yes, but so this is an interesting move, especially for the English speaking market, because I think especially online there's a lot of Gundam channels and hobby people building the models. So this is going to be a whole other thing where it's going to get closer to miniature wargaming, and I don't know everyone's kind of stealing the painting techniques from each other, but we'll see what the audience looks like. So new year, new content, right? That's what we're doing is new content, and hey, a new sponsor. Ooh. What do you know? Actually, not a new sponsor, but a new approach, a new idea. So always I'm looking for a way to fuel, to keep my energy going, to get focused, to produce content, to stay motivated. And it's not easy. So I had to give up my 2 pots of coffee a day. And just basically, So once I couldn't do that anymore, once it was just irritation and shaking, I had to find something else. And we lucked upon a sponsor last year.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
Yes. So Magic Mind, and the thing that they approached us with this time is a little bit more. It's kind of a 24-hour plan as opposed to just fueling your workday and giving you the kind of mental focus. And the one thing that the concept that the creator is promoting very much both on the website and all the tie-in materials is mental wealth. So all that Bitcoin you've invested in. And
come on. I get that at work, not here too, please.
You should have been investing in your mental wealth, not your material wealth.
Okay.
Yes. Right. But just the idea of, investing in taking care of your health and the kind of the what they talk about, the 5 pillars of your health: your sleep, your diet, exercise, stress management, and exogenous compounds. So, caffeine and things you take in from the outside. And Magic Mind will give you a superior version of those compounds, but it will also do something else for you. Their new product will do something else for you. Listening. So it's paired with the Magic Sleep. So your body needs to be doing 2 things efficiently. You need to be focusing and having mental focus, but you also need to be sleeping well, or else you're not going to have the energy to output. So they have a new kind of 24-hour pack, which is a pair of both the Magic Mind for your alertness, focus, and stress reduction, and the Magic Sleep, which will help you sleep deeply, get to sleep faster, sleep more deeply, have more successful sleep.
I'm feeling very targeted here.
These are looking right at you.
I do very poorly.
Yes. Yes. So Magic Mind is the mental performance shot, and it contains time-release caffeine and a lot of other different compounds to help you reduce stress and stay focused on what you need to do. So 12 active ingredients support your body's energy. And instead of what caffeine does is just blocking the receptors that say you're tired, this actually gives you sustained energy throughout the day, so less stress. But Magic Mind Sleep is also going to basically kind of do the opposite, just help you fall asleep faster, get deeper rest. And the thing that they talk about is that all their ingredients are third-party tested. They've been sourced from suppliers, and the effects have all been doctor validated. So you're not just getting something made up. It's actually been has proven results. And one thing that they're doing recently is from every bottle that they sell, they're donating 5 cents to health charities to help the U.S. homeless, which who could definitely need it. So the thing that sets them apart a little bit, and why it's a shot, why you're drinking it instead of a pill or a tablet, is it's nano-encapsulated, which means the actual ingredients are bioabsorbable. So they're very, very small compared to even what a powder can do. So it absorbs 5 to 10 times faster. So if you'd like to try this, there is a 100% refundable, no questions asked refund 10 days after buying. If you'd like to try the Magic Mind bundle, and with the code at the bottom of the screen, magicmind.com/upturnpodjan, you can get 45% off of their bundle, and with a no risk refund if you're not satisfied. They ship internationally to 65 countries, so we're not just talking about North America anymore. And they're also showing up in retail. So Sprouts, HEB, and Central Market also carry Magic Mind. So that code again, magicmind.com/upturntable. So Magic Mind, magicmind.com/upturnedpodjan, UPTURNEDPODJAN.
Paying off. That focus is paying off. Right?
Yes, right.
I wasn't going to try and read that. Right?
And that will get you 45% off of a month. The monthly bundle that will give you, so it's 2 bottles a day, the Magic Mind and then the Magic Mind Sleep.
I might actually try this because I do need to sleep.
Yes. So
you can tell by the giant bags under my eyes. Right?
So thank you, Magic Mind, for your support.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the news. So I'm really surprised what Steamforged Games is up to. They are, and I have a little, I can't, it's under NDA, but I have a little insider information that they even have new projects that they haven't even announced yet.
Interesting. Okay.
That may be a lot of fun. But the one thing that they're doing, so we know they've supported with those epic encounters that they were doing for D&D 5e, which were giving you a bunch of minis and a big grid sheet to play specific adventures with statted out monsters and stuff. With their their really fun miniatures. I think they're taking the same idea and they're trying to help Tales of the Valiant, so Kobold Press's Tales of the Valiant, with a starter set. And this is a very beginning, like intro level, you've never played an RPG before kind of starter set. So Steamforged Games has partnered with Kobold Press to bring you the Tales of the Valiant starter set. So absolute basics all the way through your first session and then beyond. Pre-orders are going to be early this year. It's going to retail for $44.99 US, which is pretty standard for their boxed sets.
I want to hear what's in it first.
Yeah. So what they're giving you is 4 finely detailed miniatures, a welcome to role-playing guide, the full rules reference, 2 books filled with adventures, battle maps, a full set of polyhedral dice, character sheets, and full color tokens. So basically, everything you'll need to and it's very on the table, physical. So if that's the way you want to learn role playing and that's what you think role playing is, then this is probably one of the better approaches.
That's what you think role playing is. You'd be wrong, right?
Right. You might not be. You may be off a little bit, but if that's something you would enjoy, because Steamforged does nice miniatures, so it's nice to see that they're going to get official miniature support for Tales Tales of the Valiant. So yeah, that was interesting to see. So they're supporting a lot of. So they have War Machine now.
Oh, I had forgotten about that. Right.
And so I was looking at that, and they've resculpted everything. So it's I don't know. And the cool thing though is the app gives you all the stat lines, all the rules for free. Like you're not yeah, you're not so you can take a look at what they've done with the game, see if you can proxy any of your old miniatures to actually try it out, and just to see what they've done. And the other thing is the factions list seems to be limited. So I think like War Machine and Hordes is like one thing.
Oh, really?
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Do you remember how many there were? Total? Doesn't matter.
No, there weren't that many. Yeah, there are seven. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's complete now. It seems like they're still rolling it out because some of the sets, there's basically only the 2-player starter set, and then they're saying here's battle boxes of these different factions, but we don't have much more besides that when you're looking on the website. So maybe in the process. The one cool thing though is they have a something that caught my eye is they have a subscription service for a miniature.
Okay.
They're mini crate, War Machine mini crate, and these are like wacky War Machine miniatures that can be used in the game, but are mostly just kind of creative, alternate sculpts. And I thought that was it's a little pricey, but it's pretty cool to get something that would be fun to paint that you could actually include in games monthly. I'm a sucker for stuff that just keeps coming at you. Stuff that I don't need that just keeps coming at you. But so they picked up War Machine and support D&D 5e. Now they're supporting Tales of the Valiant.
Are they still supporting D&D 5e?
Yeah. There's new epic encounters coming out all the time.
Mind.
Yeah, they've got
Pick a side.
They've got quite a few. Yeah, and then with their board games, their IP board games, and plus their so Guild Ball has kind of become a free to play kind of STL based thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they kind of changed the support of Guild Ball, but that was one of their original IPs. God Tier is another one of their miniature games that was kind of original. I think Bard Sung, but then the rest of them are the Resident Evil, Horizon Zero Dawn kind of licensed IP. So they've got a lot of stuff going on, and I guess they are also going to be handling the Iron Kingdom's role playing game. So we'll see. Yeah, they had a bit of a stumble with their Dark Souls role.
Oh, right. The one that was based on 5e, and so many people were finding typos in the book, and you can't actually make this game. Yeah,
right. So we'll see how that goes. But they're keeping that alive, and I think Steamforged has it seems like Privateer Press ran into some problems with how to get things done, what order to release things in. Like there were models when there weren't rule books, and there were rule books when there weren't models, and they were having some kind of problems. So I think Steamforged probably has their
ducks in a row.
Yeah, their production chain and everything a little bit fleshed out. It's only going to get harder though. So that's the frustrating thing is for these companies, it's only getting harder. But we'll see what happens to War Machine. I don't know if it'll ever be what it was, because it was pretty close to on par with 40K. You could probably find it as many War Machine games as you could
for a while, like a decade or we're here. And miniature war games are, I think, much less popular here than they are other places, but War Machine and Hordes seemed fairly popular over here.
Yeah,
I spent way too much money on it.
It's thing, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if this helps, and we'll see if they're going to keep helping some of these other D&D alternatives with starter sets and at least miniatures.
No ethical consumption or capitalism. You're still supporting D&D.
That's right. You're still the company that's making epic adventures. Okay, well, if you don't want to support D&D, I suggest you try Ultraviolet Grasslands. They're getting a second edition.
But
so the 2024 Silver Any winner for Best Interior Art. So the second edition and the siren. So pulse confirmed, entity energized. Remember, keep your Omni batteries charged and your haze meter at the ready. So yes, Ultraviolet Grasslands, the highly anticipated second edition. So they've got new art, countless otherworldly adventures. So they're boosting. This book will be 250 pages where the previous version was 250. So larger, more evocative art and everything to enliven your psychedelic metal
they're
quest.
going from 200 to 250.
Yeah, 200 to 250. Yep. So expanding, get extra 50 pages, probably mostly art. And so Fair Hero, the end and the end alone awaits all travelers at the end. And at the end, where was the journey all in vain? All journeys end in vanity. So, a strange trip through the mythic steppe in search of lost time, broken space, and deep rifts. So the Ultra Grasslands and the Black City is a tabletop role-playing game. It's half setting, half adventure. So basically, it's got its own, I think, D20-based system, but you can use this setting with kind of anything that you'd like. The setting itself is inspired by psychedelic, heavy metal, Dying Earth genre, and the classic Oregon Trail games.
So you all die of dysentery.
Yeah, so a new kind of psychedelic dysentery. Yes.
You spend all your time trying to shoot deer with a janky Apple IIe mouse. Okay,
right.
Did they even have mouse? Anyway, sorry.
Yes, so you can, your heroes can journey into the depths of the vast and mythic steppe filled with detritus of time and space and fuzzy rifts. So what did they do for 2E? So expanded. Oh, it's 252 pages. Okay. Yeah, 2 extra. Streamlined the character rules for smoother gameplay. Gave you different caravan options, vehicles, and equipment. A brand new bestiary section. A table of 50 adorable pets if you'd like a companion on your your journey. They expanded the maps. Featuring the whole Circle C region. And again, they're doing a hardcover book. Okay. And of course, the awesome art, and also they're doing a bundle for kind of a limited deluxe bundle, which will get you a referee screen, a map pack, and exclusive patches in with everything that they've done. And so the designer, artist, and writer, triple threat, Luka Rijek, is the one responsible for this setting. And I've looked at this so many times. I've looked at because the art of the book is great. It's like a beautifully designed book. So it's been tempting to pick up, but I didn't know because it's Exalted Funeral. I always thought, is this a Troika setting or is this tied in some? But yeah, it's its own thing, and it can be played, basically any way that you'd like. So Luca's work has for Exalted Funeral Press has also been Witchburner, Longer Winter, The Visitor's Guide, and the Old School Essentials Holy Mountain Shaker. So yeah, a A4 size hardcover book, full color throughout, and a PDF bundle included. Okay, PDF included. Nice. And yes, and it also contains a preview PDF, The Synthetic Dream Machine, Eternal Key, and a free Bear Ghost version, free Bear Ghost version. So that may be another project. And previously this year, there was actually a kind of a sequel or another, maybe an expanded setting that was crowdfunded. So Our Golden Age, so an Ultraviolet Grasslands kind of RPG sequel, did well, almost $500,000 on crowdfunding. So experience the fantascience role play at the end of time, escape the end of history, the eternal civilization is perfect. So we'll see if they're saying that this is just kind of a refinement of the rules. Right. So not a complete rewrite, but a refined version for this second edition. So I think everything that was produced previously,
like a revised edition,
will work without too much fuss. So that was cool to see the continued support. So this might be my chance to to pick up that setting. But I'll put links to everything in the description, and that will do it for this week. Yeah. So where can people find you?
Not on Threads.
Oh.
1 minute, right? So no, Blue Sky mostly, and Instagram for picture stuff. It's HiveMind, HYVEMYND, where I'm finally trying to paint more 6mm miniatures. Yeah, like was said in the chat. Haha, 2-inch, right? Bro, I paint like 1mm miniatures, right? Blocks, yeah. No, I said, okay, my goal for this year is to not do anything bigger than 6mm because I have so many 6mm. So I'm trying to put together Triumph armies in 6mm.
Nice. Wow.
I think I've got like 4 going. So I'll continue with updates on that.
Nice.
When I get them. But anyway. How about you?
So, yes, I'm still doing my single panel gag cartoon. I had my Christmas stream in December, and there'll be a January stream at some point.
New Year's.
And we'll celebrate the new year. Yeah, I have to change the copyright date on my cartoon. So, new cartoons in the new year. That's Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch, and my single panel gag cartoon. You can read the 20 years of its archive at GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You can do that at patreon.com/upturntable. So pledge at any of the tiers to kind of let us know what you're interested in. The lore videos, actual play, the the weekly.
Have we set up a tier for stop talking about this?
Oh yeah, we just be silent. Sit there for just behind that silent
stop
timer.
talking in general. Wow, okay.
And we got you covered. So there's exclusive content that also matches the content that members of YouTube have available. So if you're watching on YouTube, that join button below will give you access to that. So as little as $1 on both Patreon and YouTube, you can get access to all the so we've got audiobooks up there, all of our actual play series, the entire session, like the entire campaigns as like one audio file or one big chunk.
12 hours.
Yes, and without ads. That's gonna make it a little bit easier to listen to. Some people have said there's a lot of ad breaks in 4 hours. Yes, there are. Sorry. But so upturntable.com is the website, and upturntable on all social media. So do you worry not being on Threads that you'll just be replaced by an AI hive mind bot that will just chat for you instead?
Nah, I don't know. I've deactivated the account. It's still like 30 days. They're like, you have 30 days before it gets deleted in case you change your mind. I'm like, no, bro, I won't. Anyway. Yeah.
Not gonna change. All right, so that'll do it for this week. We will be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye.